Most peach growers wait an entire season, sometimes 2 or 3 full years, watching their trees sit there full of leaves, full of branches, doing absolutely nothing. No blossoms, no fruit, just green, stubborn wood. And here's what almost nobody tells you. In most of those cases, the tree isn't sick. It isn't dying. It's being held back by one very specific biological trigger that the grower never activated. That's what we're fixing today. If you're serious about getting real results from your peach trees, not just hoping for fruit, but actually forcing your trees to perform on your timeline, then subscribe to this channel right now. Every week I put out practical field-tested peach growing content that you won't find in any textbook or gardening magazine. Hit that subscribe button and the bell so you never miss it. In this video, I'm going to show you the exact technique that commercial peach growers use to trigger fruiting in trees that have been sitting dormant or underperforming. By the end of this, you'll understand why your tree has been holding back, what's actually happening inside that wood at a biological level, and the precise step-by-step method to force it into production. This isn't theory. This is what works in the field. Let's start with the reality most growers are living with. You planted your peach tree, you watered it, you fed it, maybe you pruned it the way someone told you. And then, nothing. Or maybe you got a little fruit one year and then it just stopped. You start thinking the variety is wrong, or the soil is bad, or the climate isn't right. And while those things can play a role, 9 times out of 10, the real problem is something much more controllable. The tree simply hasn't received the right signal to shift from vegetative growth mode into reproductive mode. And that's entirely a management problem, not a tree problem. Here's what most hobby growers get wrong from the very beginning. They treat their peach tree like a houseplant. They keep it well watered all year round. They fertilize it constantly with nitrogen-heavy fertilizers to keep it looking lush and green. And that lush, green, leafy tree is exactly what a vegetative tree looks like. A tree that has absolutely no intention of fruiting. When a tree is comfortable, when it has all the water it wants and all the nitrogen it wants, it has no biological reason to reproduce. It just keeps growing. Reproduction in the plant world is a stress response. It's the tree saying, I might not make it. I need to pass on my genes. When you keep your tree in paradise, it never feels that urgency. That's the fundamental mistake. And then there's pruning. People either don't prune at all because they're afraid of hurting the tree, or they prune at completely the wrong time of year and cut off the exact wood that was about to carry their fruit buds. Peaches fruit on 1-year-old wood. That's the wood that grew last season. If you're pruning in early spring and cutting off all those second-year laterals, you're literally removing your fruit crop before it ever shows itself. I see this constantly. A grower complains their tree won't fruit, and then I watch them prune in March, and I already know exactly why. Now let me explain what's happening inside the tree, because once you understand this, everything makes sense, and you can work with the tree's biology instead of against it. Peach trees, like all fruit trees, operate on a hormonal system. There are 2 primary hormones at play here. Auxins and cytokinins on one side, which drive vegetative growth, and a shift toward abscisic acid and ethylene-related processes on the other, which drive flowering and fruiting. The balance between these hormones determines what mode your tree is in at any given moment. Nitrogen in the soil promotes the growth hormones. Abundant water keeps the tree in a growth-comfortable state. Long days with no stress signal keeps it vegetative. But here's what's key. A period of controlled water stress, combined with a drop in nitrogen availability, a proper chilling accumulation in winter, and specific physical interventions on the wood, all work together to shift that hormonal balance. The tree essentially transitions from thinking I'm growing to thinking I need to reproduce. That's the trigger. And once that trigger is pulled, flowering follows within a very specific window. And in the right conditions, you can see visible bud development in as little as 72 hours after the trigger is applied correctly. The 72-hour claim isn't magic. It's biology. When a peach tree is already close to its flowering threshold, when it's had its chilling hours, when the cambium is ready, a specific physical and chemical intervention can push it over that edge almost immediately. What you're seeing in 72 hours isn't the fruit, obviously. What you're seeing is the bud swell, the break of dormancy at the flower bud level, and the beginning of that reproductive sequence. That's the visible confirmation that you did it right. So here's what professional and commercial peach growers actually do. This is the real-world protocol, step by step. Step 1 is chilling hour confirmation. Before you do anything else, you need to know whether your tree has met its chilling hour requirement. Different peach varieties need anywhere from 150 hours to over 1,000 hours of temperatures between 32 and 45 degrees Fahrenheit, which is roughly 0 to 7 degrees Celsius. Low-chill varieties like Florida Prince need as few as 150 hours. High-chill varieties like Redhaven need 800 or more. If your tree hasn't met its chilling requirement, no technique in the world will force it to fruit. That's the first gate. Know your variety, track your winter temperatures, and confirm you've hit that number before moving on. If you haven't, that's the problem. Full stop. You either need to switch to a low-chill variety or you need to look at temperature management strategies for your microclimate. Step 2 is the pre-intervention water stress period. About 10 to 14 days before you apply the fruiting trigger, you deliberately reduce irrigation. Not to the point of wilting the tree, you're not trying to kill it, but you bring the soil moisture down significantly. If you've been watering every 3 days, go to every 7 or 8. If you've been watering deeply, water shallower. This does two things. It drops nitrogen availability in the root zone since nitrogen moves through water, and it triggers a mild stress response in the tree that begins the hormonal shift. This step alone, if the chilling hours are met, will often begin bud swell on its own. But we're not stopping here because we want reliable, predictable results. Step 3 is the bark scoring or ring technique. This is the one technique most home growers have never heard of, and it's where the real acceleration happens. Commercial orchardists call it ring scoring or girdling, and done correctly, it is extraordinarily effective. Using a sharp knife, a grafting knife, or even a box cutter works. You make 2 parallel cuts through the bark around a main scaffold branch, separated by about 1 centimeter. You go through the bark and the cambium layer, but you do not cut into the wood itself. Then you remove that narrow ring of bark. What this does is interrupt the downward flow of photosynthetes, the sugars produced by leaves, so instead of those sugars flowing down into the root system, they accumulate above the cut in the branch and in the buds. This sudden sugar accumulation is a powerful reproductive trigger. Buds that are on the verge of breaking will often visibly swell within 48 to 72 hours of this technique being applied. This is why commercial growers use it. It works. Important note, do this on a scaffold branch, not the main trunk. On the trunk, girdling can permanently damage or kill the tree if not done with extreme precision. On a branch, the tree compensates and the branch will recover within a growing season. Step 4 is the hydrogen cyanamide application. This is the professional-grade tool. Hydrogen cyanamide, sold commercially under names like Dormex, is a chemical that breaks dormancy. Commercial peach and stone fruit growers use it routinely in climates where chilling hours are marginal or inconsistent. It's applied as a diluted spray, typically a 1 to 3% solution, directly onto the dormant wood and buds during late dormancy, right before you expect natural bud break. The compound works by inhibiting certain enzymes in the bud that maintain dormancy, effectively forcing the bud to break. In a tree that has met its chilling requirement but is lagging on break, a hydrogen cyanamide application can trigger uniform, rapid bud break across the entire tree within 72 hours. This is the commercial secret that drives those clockwork harvest windows you see in managed orchards. The trees don't fruit randomly. They're triggered to fruit on a precise schedule. If you use this product, wear gloves and eye protection, follow the label dilution exactly, and apply in early morning or evening to avoid rapid evaporation. Keep children and pets away during application and for 24 hours after. Step 5 is the immediate post-intervention support feeding. After you've applied your trigger, whether that's the bark scoring, the hydrogen cyanamide, or both, you want to support the tree nutritionally within 24 hours. But here's the key. You're not applying nitrogen. You're applying a potassium and phosphorus feed. A high potassium, low nitrogen fertilizer or a foliar spray of potassium sulfate encourages flower bud development and strengthens the reproductive process you just initiated. Potassium directly supports sugar transport in the plant, which amplifies the effect of the bark scoring technique if you used it. Phosphorus supports root development and energy transfer. This combination tells the tree's biology to go deeper into reproductive mode rather than reverting back to vegetative growth. Now I want to stop here for a moment and ask you something directly. Have you ever tried to force your peach tree to fruit and failed, even after following advice you found online? Drop the word peach in the comments below and tell me what you tried. I read every single comment, and your experience might help another grower watching this video right now. What did you try and what happened? Let me know. Now let me walk you through what this looks like in the field, because reading steps is different from knowing what to look for with your own eyes. When you go out to your tree in the morning after day 1 of this process, you're looking at the buds along the 1-year-old wood, those pencil-thin laterals that grew last season. They should be slightly swollen, slightly plump, and darker in color than the surrounding bark. That's normal. What you're waiting to see is the beginning of the bud scales separating. The bud scales are the tight little covers that protect the flower bud through winter. When they start to separate and you can see the tiniest sliver of color inside, pink or pale green. That's bud break beginning. That's your confirmation that the trigger worked. By day 2, on a tree that's responded well, those buds will have visibly swollen further. Some of the most advanced buds may have scales that are more than halfway open. You might see the very first hint of petal color. The branches around your bark score, if you did that technique, will often show the most advanced buds on the tree because that's where the sugar concentration is highest. By day 3, your 72-hour mark, a successfully triggered peach tree in the right condition will have clear flower buds breaking across the scaffold branches. Some buds will be close to fully open. In warm daytime temperatures, this process accelerates. In cooler temperatures, it may take another day or two to reach visible open flowers, but the bud break will be clearly underway and irreversible at this point. You've done it. You've forced the tree to cross that threshold. Here's your golden tip, and this is something that even experienced growers often don't know. The window for these interventions is extremely narrow, and it falls at a very specific point in dormancy. Commercial growers call this the silver tip to green tip window. It's the stage of bud development right before natural bud break, where the bud tip first turns silvery, then shows a tiny green point. If you apply the hydrogen cyanamide before silver tip, it's less effective because the buds aren't close enough to breaking. If you apply it after green tip, you risk burning the emerging tissue. The sweet spot is that silver to green transition window, which in most climates lasts about 5 to 7 days. Mark your calendar. Watch your trees closely every day during late winter and hit that window. Miss it, and you either have to wait another full year or accept a delayed and uneven fruit set. The growers who get consistent, reliable harvests are the ones who know this window and never miss it. Before I wrap up, let me give you the common mistakes list, because I've seen every single one of these destroy what should have been a successful fruiting trigger. The first mistake is applying any of these techniques without confirming chilling hours first. It doesn't matter what you do, if the chilling requirement isn't met, the bud won't break. Check your hours before you do anything else. The second mistake is going too deep with the bark scoring. You are scoring the bark and cambium, not carving the wood. The moment you cut into the wood itself, you've damaged the structural integrity of that branch and opened it to disease. Shallow and precise. The third mistake is applying hydrogen cyanamide too early, before silver tip stage. You'll waste the product and get patchy, uneven results, which is sometimes worse than no intervention because it leads to an uneven ripening period that's nearly impossible to manage. The fourth mistake is immediately flooding the tree with nitrogen fertilizer after triggering it. Nitrogen will push the tree back toward vegetative growth. Hold all nitrogen for at least 6 weeks after fruit set. The fifth mistake is doing this to a young tree that isn't ready. A peach tree needs to be at least 2 to 3 years old, well established, with a solid root system before it has the energy reserves to support a forced fruit set. Push a young tree too hard and you'll stunt it badly. Here's the bottom line. Your peach tree is not broken. It's not lazy. It's not a bad variety. In almost every case, it's waiting for a signal that you haven't given it yet. Now you know exactly how to give that signal. You know about chilling hours, controlled water stress, bark scoring, hydrogen cyanamide timing, and post-trigger feeding. You know the silver to green tip window. You know what to look for in the field at 24, 48, and 72 hours. That knowledge right there puts you ahead of 90% of home peach growers. If you got value from this video and you want to grow peaches like someone who's actually done it, not like someone who read about it, then join this channel. Hit subscribe and become part of a community of growers who are serious about their orchards. The knowledge we share here is the kind that takes years to accumulate on your own, and you just got a big chunk of it in one sitting. Coming up next week, I'm going to show you the exact pruning system that maximizes next year's fruit load without ever cutting the wrong wood again. It's called the renewal spur system, and once you understand it, you'll never look at your peach tree the same way. You don't want to miss that one. I'll see you there.